Hey everyone, welcome to my video. My name is Kokilani Murugan and my metric number is BB24110064. Today I'm going to talk about decision making process, that how we make decisions, why is it important, and how we can improve our decision making skills. Whether it's something as simple as choosing what to have for dinner or as big as deciding on a career change or relationship choices, the way we make decision impacts our life in so many ways. So let's break it down and explore each step of decision making process. The first and often most crucial step in decision making is recognizing that a decision needs to be made. It's easy to glide through life making decisions without thinking too much about them. But there are moments when we face situations that require us to be more deliberate in our choices. For example, recently I had to decide whether to continue working for a better salary in certain project while pursue my degree far from my home. At first, it wasn't clear if I should prioritize my studies or take on this new responsibility. But when I recognized that I was facing a moment that required a choice, it helped me to stop and think about my options more carefully. Sometimes the we need for a decision can come from external pressures like work, family, or even social medias. Other times, it's more internal, like realizing you're stuck in a situation and need a change. So, acknowledging that a decision is necessary is the first step forward, creating clarity. Once we realize a decision has to be made, the next step is gathering information. Information is power, and the more we know about our options, the better equipped we are to make an informed choice. Think about it. When you are choosing between different career opportunities, for example, you want to know what the job entitles, the potential for growth, the salary, and how it aligns with your values. In my case, I have faced decisions around balancing my personal life with my academic and career goals. I have learned that I need to gather as much information as possible, asking for advice from mentors, researching options, and really thinking through the pros and cons of each choices. The more we know, the better we can decide if it's the right move for us. Even small decisions like what to study next or which course to take require gathering information. This can be from books research or even conversation with people who have been through similar experiences. Now that we have gathered information, the next step is considering the impact of each choice. This is where you start asking yourself, how will this decision affect my life, my relationship, my future? And the impact of decision isn't always immediately clear, which is why it's important to think about both the short term and long term consequences. For example, when I decided to study far away from my home, it just wasn't about the experience of living in a new place. It meant a shift in my relationship, being away from my family, and the challenges of managing a different academic environment. So I had to weigh if the benefits of studying far away from home outweighed the emotional and logistical challenges. At first, the decision was tough, but by thinking about the long term impact on my career and personal growth, I knew it will be valuable experience. It's also essential to think about the ripple effect your decision might have on others. For instance, if you are in a relationship, how might your choices affect your partner? Will your decision bring you closer together or create more distance? This can be a very important factor in making major life decisions. After gathering information and considering the impacts, we finally arrive at the decision making stage. This is where we trust ourselves and our judgment. It's easy to get stuck in analyzing, paralyzing, where you keep gathering information and weighing the pros and cons without ever making a choice. But at some point, you have to take a step forward. For me, this is often the most challenging part. I remember a time when I had to decide whether to take on an internship while studying full time. I could feel myself stressing over the potential consequences. Could I handle the workload? Will it impact my grades? But after weighing the pros and cons, talking with a mentor and trusting that I could manage my time effectively, and I decided to go for it. This step also requires a bit of intuition, and sometimes, no matter how much data you have to go with the feels right. So, trusting your guts is something we all need to embrace in decision making. Once we have made a decision, the next step is to take action. This is the stage where everything we have thought about our research, weighing the pros and cons, and thinking about the impacts comes together, and we actually make it happen. This step often feels like the hardest part because it requires more commitment and stepping out of your comfort zone. It's one thing to think about a decision, but taking that first step toward it can feel overwhelming. For many of us, fear of failure or uncertainty can hold us back. What if things don't go as planned? What if I made the wrong choice? These are questions that can paralyze us. But the truth is, no decision comes with 100% certainty. At some point, we have to trust ourselves, take a deep breath, and move forward. A good way to think about it is no action means no results. Even a small step in the right direction can build momentum. For example, when I decided to study far away from my home, taking action meant doing a lot of things outside my comfort zone. I had to prepare emotionally, adjust to a completely new environment, and learn how to manage challenges on my own. It wasn't easy, and there were days when I questioned my decision. But I reminded myself that this was part of the growth process and that every step I took would lead me closer to my goals. But here is something important. Taking action doesn't mean the decision making process is over. In fact, one of the most critical parts of decision making comes after you act, and that's reflection. Reflection is where we stop and think about how our choice played out. It's not just whether it worked or didn't, it's about understanding why things happened the way they did. After I started studying far away from my home, I spent time reflecting on how the experience was shaping me. I asked myself questions like, did I handle the challenges well? And also, what did I learn about myself during this time? And moreover, are there things I could have done differently to make the experience even better? Like that. This kind of reflection helped me grow not just as a student but as a person too. It taught me how to be more independent, more adaptable, and more thoughtful about my choices. It also showed me areas where I could improve. For example, I realized that I could have communicated more often with my loved ones to feel more connected while being far away. That's something I will definitely do differently if I faced a similar situation in the future. Reflection also helps us learn from both our success and mistakes. Sometimes a decision works out perfectly, and that's great. but sometimes things don't go as planned, and that's okay too. Every decision, whether it's a success or a failure, teaches us something valuable. It helps us build the skills and confidence we need to make better decisions in the future. So, to wrap it up, the decision making process is multifaceted. It starts with recognizing when a decision needs to be made, gathering information, considering the impact, making the decisions, and then taking action and reflecting. It's not always a perfect process, but being deliberately and thoughtful about our choices can lead us to make decisions that align with our goals and values. And even when things don't turn out as expected, we learn and grow, which is a big part of the journey. Thank you for watching my video.